Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. We are on Siegfried Line, and I have spawned into the east side on a defense and assault mode on the defensive side, Siegfried Line. How do you win this map? Let's talk about that for a minute, because this one's called Surprise 46% win rate. Surprise 46% win rate. Okay, so how do you win this map on the defense? You have got to secure the flanks. You cannot let them come up and over on the flanks and then squeeze you and trap you into the city. And even if you're top tier like me, oftentimes it's better to clear out a flank and then come back to the city. I don't mean clear out a flank and then push back into the back. If you have some fast scouts, you might be able to do that and clear out artillery. That is a player on this game because there are 3 artillery each side. The problem with the flanks in a slow tank is there are artillery on each side, and that can be very difficult. But if you let them take those flanks and stick you and stuff you into the city, it's over pretty quickly. So that's really how you win this map. You don't win it by hanging out in the city because there's just too many avenues to be crossfire, too many flank opportunities. If you give up these flanks, it's really a bad thing. I know that. Oftentimes people who sit on the red line don't know that in certain types of units, which will go unmentioned, artillery. You've got old Patton back there, right? And he does not want his flanks covered. He is an attack straight through kind of guy, all right? So here we go. Surprise, 46% win rate. So I'm going to head off this way. And I am granted the top tier, one of the top tier. And we've got defend the base. I have sent my order. I command you to defend the base. And if you disobey my orders, there will be heck to pay. I tell you, heck to pay. Alright, so I'm going to head over here. And I am going to look to stuff. Oh, boy. How was I spotted? The enemy has spotted. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 16 enemies. I'm not aware. There are 16 enemies on this team. And one of them is in my own artillery. Surprise, 46% win rate. So anyway, clearly this guy was a little bent that I decided to go to the flank and try to secure said flank because Patton believes that you drive straight up the middle. Alright, this is what I am attempting to stop. I want to get in here and take out these scouts that are going to try to get onto our flank and start tearing us up. You can see that the northern flank is doing the same thing. You've got people who get it. They're over there. They're trying to sort it out. That's a bit of a bummer. I shot right into the back. I do have to be cognizant of the artillery, and that is definitely a danger. There they are, right? So they're looking at me. It's hard to shoot into the town, so they're going to do something like that. Try to shoot guys who are out here fighting on the flanks. Surprise! 46% win rate. I'm sure you know why I'm saying that. Do we have to get into it? Uh-oh. That's not good. Look at this dude. And a miss. This gun is so derpy. And I get a bounce. See that little wiggle? I just put a little wiggle on him. I'm hoping to do my best. And holy cow, how on earth is everyone missing? Let's get the ram as well. Boom. Put a shot onto him. I wish I would have. I had two problems here. I wanted to keep him out behind that building so those guys had shots. But I also needed to delay the amount of time that the 1375 could get around my side. So I just accepted the rolling backwards piece here. I was hoping for the bounce. I got it. I decided, let's get rid of this dude, and then we'll deal with this 1375, who either was on a reload or was not really getting good shots and missing. I'm able to survive that whole thing. And I'm going to tell you that the shooting skills of my team, I don't know how many shots I saw go in and miss right there. Now I've got the Type 4 starting to push in. And I need to get rid of this 1375. Once I can get rid of this 1375, I can move back into the town and start cleaning up. So I'm looking for him. A little bit worried about this guy. Yeah, so I knew he was going to have kind of a hard or fleeting shot. There's a bounce. And now I've got a Pershing here as well, but he's taking hits. That's a good thing. What I want to do is get up to... There's a miss. What I want to do is get up to that tree up there in front of me so I can start to get better shots on the Type 4, but getting spotted is going to be problematic. So We'll come around here looking for shots on him. He's covered up by some terrain. That's why I want to get up a little higher here. Gives me better shots. Although the Type 4 has now moved into the town a bit, so he's covered up by a building. So that's actually good for me in one case, because he's not going to have shots unless he moves back. Now I've got the Tiger P. And right into the ground. Bat Chat has moved off over there, so I'm not worried about the Bat Chat. Might be able to, let's see if we can get this Tiger P this time. Take that blind shot in there. The Pershing bounces. The Tiger P actually gets a hit on me. Unknown if I put any shots on him. But notice how many tanks they had over here. Had nobody gone out here, those would have already folded into us in the town. Come up here looking for this Pershing. He's problematic. He's got a good turret. Has lots of depression. Good spotting. Tiger P goes down. That was a good kill. There's the scout. Got spotted. That's fine. I'm just going to accept. I'm going to hope that I can get up and over. And unfortunately, I get neither a shot on 1375 nor the Pershing. I probably should have prioritized the 1375 instead of trying to take a much more difficult shot into the Pershing's turret. Difficult both in aiming and in penning. So here he comes again. And now the artillery's on me. The Type 4 hits me. The Pershing tracks me. Good news is both a Type 4 and an artillery has a long reload, so I'm able to back up out of that. I'll cover up with that building. And he is now moving forward, probably ignoring me. I can see him moving, so I take that as a good sign, and I'll take down the Pershing as he tries to run away. Artillery's still shooting at me. And now that I've got this flank basically secured, the 1375 ran off, still taking hits from artillery. Now I can swing back into town and start helping take down the rest of these guys. Type 4 is going to be a bear. Type 4 was always going to drive into the town, more than likely. Had I sat there and tried to fight the Type 4 face on, I'd have had a very difficult time penning him. But now I've got more freedom of movement, and I can find my way to get around behind this guy. I'm going to take the long way. My worry is that if I drive straight up the middle, the 1375 spots me, and I get killed by artillery out in the open right there. So we're just going to fall back and see if we can't get some shots on these guys as they push in. There we go. Now the 75 is dead. That's a very good kill. And 3 pretty heavy hitters sitting right there. So now I've got to figure out a way to get in there, start taking shots at them without being spotted doing it. So I'm going to take this low area here. We'll move through this swampy bit, down low. .3002D is a problem. Looks like the LTTB is trying to take him on. Hopefully the LTTB wins, because if the 3001D gets in amongst 3002D gets in amongst artillery, that's going to hurt. And unfortunately, he does win that. So that makes it even more imperative for me to get in here and start taking hit points off of these guys. Ferdinand goes down. The T-49 does a nice job on an assassination run. That was huge for us. I have to be careful. I'd like to get a shot into that Type 4, but if I sell out too much and he can get to me before I can get behind cover, I'm in trouble. So I get that, and holy cow, I thought I was done right here. The M449 misses. So I just tucked up against that wall as best I could. I do have to watch out for Artie. I was somewhat surprised that Artie didn't come down and take me down. I get a 615 roll. That was good, but it's not enough to kill him. He was always probably going to be a 2-shot to me. I'm trying to bait his shot right there. I feel like I don't have a whole lot of time. The good news is the Type 4 is down to a 1-shot as well if somebody wants to drop some HE on him. I'm very surprised, actually, the M12 did not shoot me in any of this series right here. He must have been busy trying to get to the Indian. RHM's in good shape, but he can obviously be derped by the Type 4. And a bit of hesitation right here. I considered going around to where the Indian was, but that's face up to the Type 4. What I really want to do is get rid of this M445 if I can. So maybe he'll pop around, or I can come around. Now that he looks like he's backing off, I'm going to take a chance, come in behind the Type 4, but he dies anyway. Surprise, 46% Type 4. And now I'm moving this way. So remember the damage I took from that guy at the beginning, the 16th enemy that I was facing. That really hurt my options in game right there, and then I ended up dying to the artillery. That was another 200, 300 damage that I should have had, or hit points that I should have had available for that end game stuff. And it really did slow down how I was going to be able to handle that end game. We ended up winning this, obviously. 3,700 damage, 2,000 block, 367 assist damage right there. And this is a theme of a lot of my videos. There are certain spots on the map that have to be covered. There are certain spots on the map that should be covered. And there are certain positions on the map that are critical to winning. And a lot of times that's the same spot, right? Have to be, should be, critical to winning. Usually the same spots on the map. In this case, securing the flanks, making sure they don't push in. Sometimes that just means you've got eyes on and you punish them when they come over. Other times it means you get up in there and use that spot, in the case of the southern spawn, to punish them as they try to move around the southern part of the town right here. Not as easy to do from the northern part. You got to get up to about here, and then you have some fleeting shots into this area. But still, it does apply. If you own this freedom of movement in the north, you can take shots into them as they try to filter into the north part of the town. Same thing in the south. And on this map, if you all just turtle up inside of here, with maybe some campers here and some campers here, that usually does not work. That is usually a recipe for disaster, unless you're able to get some pretty lucky kills on them as they push in. But if they get up underneath your guns and back into this area, start spotting all your campers in the back, it's over. Pretty much over. So, surprise, 46%. That's pretty much what they do. See ya.